Good evening, everyone. My name is Cindy White, and I'm with Credit to Close, your one stop shop. And today we are going to be talking about the number one thing that is rocking the world, and that's credit. So, if you guys do not know, now you know that credit is definitely power and it is controlling everything. You need credit for absolutely everything nowadays. So if you don't have a 680 or better, this is definitely the session that you need to be on. First of all, there are two types of credit. There is in installment loans. And installments are auto loans, mortgages, personal loans, anything that is a constant payment. And there's also another type of credit, which is called revolving. Revolving is with your credit cards. And credit cards are very important to boosting your credit score. So it's important that you do have credit cards. Stop being afraid of credit cards. I tell people all the time that the worst thing that the government could have ever done was give us a debit card with a Visa, MasterCard logo because we think that that's a credit card. Stop using it. It's not helping you build your score at all. You have to start using your credit cards. And we do teach you how to properly use them so that your score goes up. So, we are going to talk about the three credit bureaus, which are TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. These are not government entities. They are privately owned companies that makes billions of dollars just by selling your information. They don't verify things in a timely manner, and they definitely don't delete things when they're supposed to. They just basically sell your information and make money off of it. For instance, some people get credit card approvals from like First Premier, Credit One. That's because the three bureaus have sold your info and have told them, listen, this person has less than perfect credit. This is the perfect credit card for them. And then there's some people that get mail from American Express, Chase Bank. They've sold their information and said these people have excellent credit. You should solicit them for these credit cards. So what we do is we go after TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, and we make them delete some of those negative items that is on your credit report. And Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, they have gotten smart. So they have something that we call a stall letter. Everyone knows that they must respond within 30 to 45 days. Well, they've gotten smart. The FDC has been on their backs. So instead of responding to our letters, they send our consumers a stalled letter, basically telling the consumer, thank you for trying to fix your credit. We applaud you, but just contact us. You don't have to use a third party. We just want to verify that it's you disputing your credit. So when you get this stall letter, don't be alarmed at all. It's just another trick that the credit bureaus have come up with. So the common errors on a person's credit report, which allows us to dispute it. If you ever looked at your credit, you'll have multiple spellings of your name, transposed social security number, old addresses, wrong reporting dates, wrong delinquent dates, account balances, the wrong date of birth. All of these things is what the Fair Credit Reporting Act tells us. We can use these things to dispute those negative items on your credit report to get them deleted as if it never ever happened. And did you know that 1.4 million people have had identity theft? That was back in 2020. So imagine what it is now in 2024. People aren't breaking into your homes. No, they don't want your old stuff. They want new stuff. So they're going after your identity, taking your driver's license, your credit cards, your identity so that they could get new stuff. So someone's identity, it is being stolen every 30 seconds. So this is a major problem. 4.6 trillion Americans um, have debt and don't know how to pay it off. That's a lot of debt. And it keeps growing and growing. In just one decade, student loan balances jumped to over 150%. Do you know how many people that I talk to on a daily basis that have hundreds thousand dollars worth of student loan debt, but they're only making 40 and $50,000 a year? Make that make sense. 64 Americans are expected to retire with less than $10,000 in retirement savings. Social Security, we don't know what's going to happen. So it's important that we start putting away for retirement. 60% of Americans lack their will, their trust, or their power of attorney, which is also a problem. We need to protect what we have and stop letting the state dictate what happens to our stuff. Think about it. How many famous people do you know passed away and didn't have a will? So it's important that we make sure we protect our stuff, even if you think it's not important because you don't own anything. But think about it this way: what if something was to happen to you? Who knows what your wishes are? So you definitely need that medical power of attorney so that your wishes are 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 made known. If something happens to you and you are incapacitated, who's your financial power of attorney? Who's going to pay those bills for you? Who has access to your assets, to your bills? These are things that are very important, especially if you have a great credit score. You want to make sure that if something happens and you can't pay that bill, someone else can, so that you don't lose that great score. That's very important. And we need to think about that. Whether you're young or old, this is a must have. 54% of Americans don't know their credit score. And 9 times out of 10, when a person doesn't know their credit score, it's because they don't want to check it because they think it's horrible. And that's the problem. We need to know our credit scores so that when we know better, we do better. And get with someone that can help you boost that score up and get rid of those negative items that is holding you back. Well, what if we could tell you that we could level that playing field? Meaning that if you don't have your will, trust, power of attorney, if you don't have a 700 or better, if you don't have savings, if you do have debt and don't know how to pay it off, what if we could tell you we have a game plan that can help you accomplish all of those goals? And we can also help you get that credit score up, which is very important. What is a good credit score? Well, nowadays, I remember when a 600 was great. Not now. 300 to 579 is poor. You are only fair all the way up to a 668. You don't get good or very good till you're a 740 to a 799. Our goal is to make sure that as many Americans as possible have an exceptional score, and that's 800 to 850. If that's your goal, if you're striving for that goal, make sure that you reach out because Headco can definitely put you in contact with the right people to make that happen. So, how is your credit measured? You want to know how your credit score is calculated. Let's start with the biggest portion. 35% of your credit is built off of payment history. Payment history is making sure that you pay everything on time. Never be more than 30 days late. You should definitely pay it before that grace period, because if not, you get paid interest, and you don't want that. Late payments. Make sure you pay your stuff on time. That's 35% of your score. And the next session is 30%. That's credit utilization. How much are you using your credit card? Well, you should definitely be less than 30%. I teach in my class that we strive to be 10%, because that's going to give you an extra boost. For example, if you have $1,000 credit card, before that statement date, we want you to be at $100 or less. Why? It's going to help boost that score up a whole lot faster, and you're not paying that much interest. The next session is 15%. That's length of credit. How long have you had this credit account open? That's important. Length of credit. If you have an old credit card that you haven't used, and you're like, I'm just going to close this because I never use it, and you've had it for 10, 15 years, if you close that, you just gave up 15% of your credit. Keep those old accounts open. If you don't use them, just, put your Netflix bill on it, put your cell phone bill on it, something small, so that it stays active, and it stays open, because you don't want to give up that 15%. Types of credit, as I told you before, there is two types. There's revolving, and there's installment. You need to have a great credit mix. That's what we call it, a mixture of credit cards and installment loans, whether it's a car loan, a mortgage, a personal loan. Just have a good mixture of credit. That'll help you. And last but not least is the other 10%, which is new credit. That's new credit that you are receiving. So it's important that you only apply for maybe one to two, a minimum of three things a year. Because if you do more than that, it makes yourself look desperate, like you're trying to get credit. So it's important that you keep those inquiries down. And yes, we can also help you get those inquiries on accounts that you have not opened, deleted off of your credit report. So if you didn't know and you have a bunch of inquiries, don't worry. We can help you with that as well. Also, bad credit versus good credit. So you and I can purchase the same type of car, exact same model, year, make, everything. But because I have a 560 credit score and you have a 740, look at how much interest I'm paying versus how much interest you're paying. So it's important that you keep your score in the green. You don't want to be in the red. The same thing for purchasing a property. Stay in the green. Yes, you can buy a house with a 580 score, but guess what? You're going to be paying more for the exact same house in the exact same neighborhood. So it's important that you always keep your score in the red. Remember, we are striving for 700 and 800 credit scores so that we can save money. So I get asked this question all the time. Should I pay a collection? Absolutely not. It's like waking up the walking dead. Because think about it this way. Let's say you owe Macy's. Macy's has charged it off. That means that their insurance company has paid that debt because you didn't pay it. And then their insurance company pays them. And then guess what? Macy's turns around and sells that bad debt to a collection agency. So Macy's have just gotten paid twice for your bad debt. And then the collection agency goes after you and they call you, they mail you, they harass you. If it's been sitting there for years, even months, don't engage with them, because even if you do and you pay that debt off, it'll still sit there as a negative item holding your credit score down. If you do decide that you want to pay them, I tell all of my students, get a pay to delete. That means, okay, yes, I'll pay this collection off as long as you're going to delete it from my credit report. And don't take their word, get it in writing. Rather, it's an email or a letter that is mailed out to you. This is very important because people, I see it all the time. They have collections and it says paid, it has a zero balance, but it also says affecting your credit score. So it's important that you educate yourself before you start paying these people off. And last but not least, um, we are a credit education company, actually a financial literacy company. And we don't just fix credit, we educate you on how to fix it, how to rebuild it, and we also teach you how to budget, how to save, to do everything positively so that you don't run into those same situations that you did in your past that caused you to have those low scores. And you're probably saying, can you repair your credit yourself? Absolutely. You definitely can. Can you change your own oil? Yeah, but you don't. Can you cut your own hair? Probably, but you don't. I can definitely do my own hair. Do I? Absolutely not. I go to the professionals. So don't leave your credit building to just anyone. Let the professionals help you get the credit score that you deserve. Next, I also, because people are so afraid of credit cards, it's important that you learn how to use those credit cards properly. And we have a system that will help you stop being afraid of credit cards and start using credit cards when you have money, not when you don't. So, for more information on using credit cards properly and restoring your score, get in contact with Headco, and Headco will definitely get you in contact with us, because we are the number one credit education company. Thank you.